Carter's presidency holds foreign policy lessons for Trump. Donald Trump once called Jimmy Carter a nice man, but a terrible president. The president-elect, speaking in 2019, was adopting a dominant narrative about Carter that took root after he reinvented the concept of the post-presidency with his Nobel Prize-winning global humanitarianism, peacemaking, and democracy promotion. There's an element of truth to all caricatures, and tributes to Carter, who died at 100 on Sunday, tended to emphasize his post-White House legacy rather than his troubled spell behind the Oval Office desk. But this view, promoted especially by Republicans who dismiss Carter's presidency as the epitome of national malaise, ignores the Georgia Democrats' lasting achievements that helped shape today's world. Carter's policies in energy and his deregulation of the airline and trucking industries and business had a more lasting impact than his mere 4 years in office might suggest. And while Ronald Reagan gets credit for winning the Cold War, Carter made key strategic investments in new generation weaponry that put his successor in a position of strength and helped show the Soviet Union it could never prevail. Before Reagan faced down the evil empire, Carter showed an often forgotten ruthless streak by leading a boycott of the 1980 Olympics in Moscow to protest the Kremlin's invasion of Afghanistan. Carter and Trump could hardly have been more different, and despite the president-elect's gracious tribute on Sunday, swapped fierce public criticism. Carter said in 2019 that it would be a disaster if Trump were re-elected, and he realized his dream to live long enough to vote for Democratic nominee Kamala Harris in November. Trump, meanwhile, often mocked Carter on the campaign trail this year, lampooning him as the worst president in history, bar one, President Joe Biden. While Carter tried to reintroduce humility to the presidency, Trump sees the office as furnishing almost unchecked power. The 39th president was pious, while the 45th, and soon-to-be 47th, is often vulgar. Carter pledged to never tell a lie, while Trump made a political career by shredding truth. Carter preached global democracy and human rights, values which the president-elect disdains. Yet, as Trump said in his social media post, only a few men alive can relate to the enormous responsibility of leading the greatest nation in history. And Carter spent much of his term wrestling with questions that will fall to Trump on January 20th, including how to handle revolutionary Iran, dangerously tense U.S. relations with Moscow, the management of the Panama Canal, and how to stop hostilities breaking out between China and Taiwan. A different age. Much about Carter's experience and political career seems unfathomable to a modern nation, nearly 44 years after he left the White House. Elaborate national mourning